Simon726 would like to condemn the event that took place at the Toronto leg of the Vans Warped Tour down at the flats at the Molson Canadian Amphitheatre on July 15, 2012. The video author would like to send his deepest condolences to the family of the deceased and to everyone who were affected by the tragedy on that day. If you were affected by this tragedy or are just in crisis in general, please contact your local crisis hotline in your area. Hello folks, this is Simon726 speaking to you for a very tragic edition of Not Another Video Blog. The Warped Tour took place in Toronto yesterday down at the flats at the Molson Canadian Amphitheatre, and from my experience, it was an A-OK venue, but I really don't like the particular layout and how the tour is all set up. The main stages were all located in the easterly portion of the new venue, and many fans often have a hard time on navigating this particular new venue. However, that day proved to be tragic. I heard in the news in which one particular concert goer had fainted due to dehydration in some reports. Many of her friends and colleagues tried to resuscitate her via CPR until the emergency services arrived, and they took her to hospital, but sadly she was pronounced dead on arrival. It's very important for you folks to stay hydrated throughout the summer, not just the Warped Tour, but wherever you go, like whether it's to the gym or go to a special event like the Warped Tour or the CNE in Toronto. It is up to you to make sure that you stay well hydrated, limit the amount of time you stay outside of the sun, wear sunscreen, and so forth. That's my tip of the day. As for the new venue, I really like the way and how it's located by public transit. You see, I'm a very avid public transit advocate, and I often help out people on where to go and which particular routes I take. They think I work for a particular transit authority in which I do not work, but I am an avid transit fan myself, who was into public transit since I was in grade 10, and to this day I really maintain my interest in public transit. Anyways, as for the new venue, it seems to be having its so many perils in it. There was a rainstorm that day in which thunder and lightning roared through the concert venue, and as a result, some of the performances were cancelled, others were on hold and rescheduled, and the list goes on and on. Many people seek shelter in nearby tents until the security guards at the venue told us that we have to go inside the actual Molson Canadian Amphitheatre, which proved to be difficult. My feet were all soaking wet trying to get through the barrage of crowds, trying to usher into the nearby covered concert venue, and many people survived the elements against all odds. The venue that I saw during the rainstorm was like a deluge. All the water was overflowing. Many people's clothes got wet, They were lucky to be alive to survive the elements, not like what happened at the Whitby Whip Fest, in which 17 people got injured during a violent rainstorm when they were inside a particular tent, and somehow the lightning struck through that particular tent, and luckily for them, they all managed to live through another day. Back to the Molson Canadian Amphitheatre, we were standing and sitting inside the covered venue for at least an hour or two until the weather has subsided. After the weather has subsided, some of the band's performances and signings, which were originally to take place on the originally scheduled time, have to be rescheduled, or in most cases, cancelled throughout the rest of the day. Ticket holders who were affected by the rainstorm in Toronto were given an opportunity to use that same ticket for the Warped Tour stop in Buffalo the very next day or two, but others have decided to pack it in for the year, and that's how their experience went. In my 4 to 5 years of going to the Warped Tour, I have seen many challenges the fans have faced, ranging from surviving the dust clouds when the Warped Tour was held up in Barrie, to recently when the Arrow Hall was literally rain-soaked. That was back in 2008. What I really like Arrow Hall, unlike the Molson Canadian Amphitheatre, is that people can easily and quickly go to the covered building all at once, but unlike the Molson Canadian Amphitheatre, the path is simply just too narrow. As a result, people got tripped, almost got trampled, and most importantly and sadly, one of their personal belongings got lost, ranging from cell phones to very expensive sunglasses. My response to that? I felt very sorry for the people who were affected by the rainstorm at the Warped Tour on Sunday. Now for the good part. I've managed to meet my fellow friends and familiar faces at the Warped Tour. I managed to meet my fellow colleague Sean, who was with his wife, who was responsible for doing an interview with the particular bands they had planned to see. From what my colleague has witnessed, he was the only person to work and to see the actual press room. In fact, he was the only person to be present in the particular press room at the venue. And he told me about that girl who had died at the Warped Tour. My response to that, I felt very shaken. It's not just my fellow colleagues. I also met Rob Dyer, the guy behind Skate for Cancer, and Corey Vidal and Tim Deegan. They were there on photographing and filming at the Warped Tour for their ApprenticeEh video blog. If you people don't know who Tim Deegan is, he used to be a VJ for the TV channel in Canada called Much Music. He worked there from 2006 until 2010. He is a very nice guy, in my own opinion, and he also has his own YouTube channel in which I'm going to post a link to it, along with Corey Vidal's ApprenticeEh channel. I also managed to finally meet Brian Walsh, who used to be the pit reporter for the 2011 edition of the Vans Warped Tour. He now works as a correspondent for the Keep Abreast Foundation. I managed to exchange a few words with him on how he really liked his job, and he told me that he likes it a lot, and his experience from transitioning as a Warped Tour pit reporter to a correspondent at the Keep Abreast Foundation is good. So, Brian, if you're watching, it's nice to meet you at the tour that day. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this edition of Not Another Video Blog. My sincere condolences go to the victim who died on that day, and to the family of the victim in question. This is Simon726 speaking to you, saying thanks for watching, and please remember to subscribe, like, and comment.